If you have a home or are looking at buying a home, you need to watch this video because right now there's a record number of people that are searching for help with mortgage on Google because millions of people are struggling to keep up with their mortgage, some of which are concerned that a foreclosure is in their future. Today I'm going to break down what's going on, explain this, and we're going to look over the charts because what we're seeing in these charts is exactly what we saw back in 2009. This is a huge issue because that was the Great Recession. I'm going to explain what's going on, but if you want to know more, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also click that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. Look at this. It says, yes, Google searches for mortgage help neared Great Recession levels. No, it's not a crisis yet. That's the key word, yet. This is going to turn into a massive crisis where people are going to lose their homes because they will be foreclosed on. People can't afford them. And it's not just the mortgage itself. The mortgage isn't a huge issue because that's exactly what people signed up for. That was the mortgage. This is how much I pay every single month. It will never change. However, what most people don't realize until it's too late, they've already signed all those documents, is that the mortgage itself doesn't change. But you still have to pay taxes, which change. And right now, many counties are raising their taxes. The second thing, and a big one, is homeowners insurance. That's another thing that many people don't factor in when they calculate their payment. Now, it is in the PITI, but, okay, and again, I just want to say this. Most people were so happy they got approved for a home, they didn't realize there's additional expenses like maintenance, taxes, insurance. Those things add up. But look at this right here. It says, the number of Google searches for help with mortgage, search without quotes, is almost as high as it was during the Great Recession. That alarming stat went viral on Wednesday. Even Senator Elizabeth Warren sounded the alarm, but it doesn't mean we're headed for another housing market collapse. And it doesn't. I want to be very clear on this. Just because there is concerns, it doesn't mean we're going to see housing collapse. The reason why is because people have so much equity in their homes that the banks can foreclose on these homes and sell them and not have a loss. The reason why we had a housing collapse before is because the banks couldn't take on all those homes because people were buying them pretty much at the same price they were being sold at, or even buying them for a little bit higher, and then the bank was losing money. Now it's not that case because many people, I think we have like $19 trillion or something like that in equity in our homes. That's all of the United States combined. That's a huge amount of money. So banks aren't extremely concerned. Let me show you this chart right here. Look at this. It says, this is a chart, okay? It says help with mortgage. This is 2008. You see where it's at? This is today. You see where it's at? This right here is 2020. This obviously was a huge concern, but then we got all that stimulus, we got mortgage forbearance, and people were just fine. I want to read something to you though. Look at this right here. It says right here, first, the three gray note lines mark times when Google changed the way it collects search data. Today's numbers aren't counted the same way as in 2009, meaning it isn't an apples to apples comparison. I want to show you this. Look at this, okay? It says here's a snapshot of the data in Google Trends as we saw it on September 17th. Obviously, you can see the change. It says, yes, the search total is almost as high today as it was then, but there are a few things to keep in mind about Google Trends. Read the first one. Second one, help with mortgage. Search without quotes is capturing more than just people looking for relief from their mortgage payments. It also pulls in searches that relate to help with mortgage applications or customer service. Looking at help with mortgage or similar queries like help with mortgage payments doesn't produce the same jump. Here's the other thing. People need help with their mortgage, not just with the payment, but to understand it. Understand their mortgage in general. How does it work? Can I pay it off early? Do I get penalized if I'm making additional payments? A lot of questions here, which again, many lenders didn't answer during the pandemic. They just didn't answer them. I want to read you something else though. It says homeowners are still making their mortgage payments. While housing costs are high, the data shows homeowners are making mortgage payments. And they are, but they're getting squeezed. This is the issue. People need help with their mortgage, and sometimes it's just, well, how do I skip a payment? I'm struggling right now. I have these additional expenses, or I'm trying to pay for some emergency expense. How do I skip a payment? And that's the help with the mortgage that they need. Just keep this in mind. All these are signs of what's coming. I'm not saying we're going to have a massive amount of foreclosures. I don't think we will, because I think homeowners will be able to sell their homes at a steep discount and get out from underneath their mortgage, but at the same time actually get some of the equity. They'll be able to do that. Real estate agents are going to have a great time here in the near future, but we're not there yet. People are still struggling. Their backs against the wall. They're between a rock and a hard place. And I think they're going to have some options, but not everyone's going to have those options, because some people aren't able to pay their mortgage, aren't able to pay for their property taxes, which maybe they get their home taken away because they're behind on taxes by several years. Again, there's a lot of stuff happening right now that we are just now learning about. That's going to be a big deal. I want to read you one last thing. The bottom line says the number of Google searches for help with mortgage, search without quotes, may echo the Great Recession, but a closer look reveals some important differences. Google's data tracking and its user base have changed since then, and the phrase help with mortgage isn't specific enough to capturing a meaningful data point. I want to point out one other thing though. People are searching for answers on Google. What about the people that are searching for answers through ChatGPT? What about the people looking for answers on YouTube and on TikTok? Those are big, because again, TikTok wasn't around in 2008, 2009. Okay, YouTube Shorts not around in 2008, 2009. ChatGPT obviously not around in 2008 and 2009. So now people are asking the question. It's interesting though that there's still a lot of people that are going to Google. However, I believe there's just as many people, if not more, getting their answers off TikTok and using ChatGPT. That's the interesting thing. And we'll see what happens in the very near future. But the bottom line is this. Mortgage delinquencies are currently very low, but they're rising. That's the difference. They're currently low, historically low, but they're rising. That's the problem we are going to see in the very near future. My guess is within the next 6 months to maybe a year, maybe a little bit longer, that's where we're going to have some real answers as to what is going on. So we'll see, but I wanted to share this with you because I know a lot of people are asking, is there really a problem with mortgages? Are people really struggling? Some people are, but some people aren't. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.